Gino Pozzo out with a chance at the John Smith Stadium last Saturday. The fans have had enough, or have they? Time to check in with Watford expert Aaron. Good evening, Aaron.
Evening, Mark.
There are some fans that believe and will say that Watford have progressed massively under this regime. However, there are many now, including many on the terraces last week, that have had enough. Where do you stand?
It's a very, very touchy subject amongst Watford fans on social media. It's one of those where as soon as it gets mentioned, it gets a little bit hostile. I think there's some fans who probably back the owner to the hills because, like you say, of the progress we've had, it's undeniable that, well, Watford may have ceased to exist without them, as they were literally going into admin when they came in. My personal opinion, I wouldn't hound them out as such yet, but I think there has to be everyone. There's totally the right to ask questions at this point. There's 3-4 years now where it's sort of total stagnation. We don't look to do too much exciting. We're trying to do the same thing that got us up back in 2012 over and over again with the cheap players and using links that we have for the Pozzo scouting network and agents they're friends with. And it just isn't working. We thought we were going to see a different approach with the appointment of Ben Manga, but recently he was actually sacked as a technical director of Watford. And that is probably the ignition point for these recent protests. If the results don't start coming, I think they'll continue.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because the results on the pitch have been mixed this year. We've spoken about that on this channel so many times. How much of that is the players? How much of that is recruitment? How much of that is the manager? It's probably, I'm guessing, 30% each. But I want to just focus on the managers just a second. What's your views of Ishmael's in-game management? And the reason I asked that is because at Huddersfield last weekend there was certain points in there where you felt something needed to change and change quicker, and it didn't. Are you becoming more of the view of actually he's just an okay manager, but doesn't have that game management? He's quite limited as a coach in that respect, or is that unfair?
It is Jekyll and Hyde. It is the best way to describe it. I think that you can literally pick out points this season where his subs changed the game, i.e. the Sheffield Wednesday game, where we were being played off the park by arguably the worst team in the division. And he did make 3 changes. He brought on Ken, he brought on Kone, and he brought on Asprilla, and it totally changed the game. Kone and Asprilla linked up for the goal, and it won us the game. And then there was the week after against Millwall, where we looked like, although we weren't ahead on the score sheet, we were totally dominating play, we were creating chances, and he made 3 changes, and it made us totally flat. And I think once again, we saw at Huddersfield, the game was crying out for a change, and we just didn't see the right changes. He seems to have a tendency to bring Ryvich off the bench a lot, which I think as a superficial point, you get it because he's a different type of striker to Bio. So you think you offer something different, maybe that would change it. But he doesn't have the energy to bring an impact to the bench. He's sort of just a focal point and a target. I am of the opinion that he does need to get better when it comes to in-game management. We need to see more of what we saw against Sheffield Wednesday and not what we see in that Huddersfield and that Millwall game.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Rajovic there. Is it time to give him a proper run? Maybe front 2 with Healy?
Reece Healy's the big one. We can't understand why he hasn't been given a real chance. As far as we're aware, he's totally fit now. He had an amazing goal scoring record, albeit in the League 2 of France, but it's undeniable. There's definitely transferable skills to the Championship, I'm sure. When you've got a striker that's very one-dimensional in Ryvich, he does score goals, but he is a traditional target man / poacher of the sense. And you've got Bio, who does some great work off the ball, but can't hit a barn door. I don't see why he hasn't been given a go, and the longer it goes with him not getting a chance, fans we're getting frustrated because we're like, well, why? Well, if he's not getting a go, there's a reason. Tell us.
And just give us a word on another player which I've seen is causing some frustrations in Jamal Lewis. He frustrates fans from what I've read. He's so talented, or can be so talented, but flatters to deceive sometimes. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when we got him in, we were hoping we were getting the Norwich Jamal Lewis. Well, he's a shadow of that player for us, it seems. Whether that's that he doesn't like the role he's being used in, I'm not sure. But yeah, a shadow of the player he was.
Okay. What needs to change then for this game against Rotherham? Then this is a must win, isn't it? For Watford. Who comes in? Who goes out for you?
I would, as you alluded to, I would try a front two. I don't know if he'll be brave enough to do that, but that is the route I'd go down. I think this way we're trying to play could be excellent. It's there. It's just this playing squad can't quite get it. We try and play this possession football, which if we had a bit more of the quality, we'd probably dominate teams. Not quite as much of like Leicester and Southampton do, but we try and play in that ilk. Our squad isn't Leicester and Southampton's squad, so I think it needs to be a bit more direct, and I would go for a front two because the striking route, the striker room as such, it's not delivering. So we need to see tweaks up front.
Okay, let's get some predictions then. Watford against Rotherham. What are you going with this week, Aaron?
Rotherham, they've had some poor results, but then you see them get a point against one of the league's best teams midweek or Monday, and you're like, it makes you a bit nervous. I really, really hope that, and I mean, I kept saying it before, and then we eventually did. So I hope this is where we turn a bit of a corner. That is what I hope for at this point. We're just waiting. Us Watford fans, we're just waiting for the light bulb to flash and we turn the corner and we start making a real run for it. I hope we turn the corner. I hope we win 2-0.
All right. Right, best of luck, Aaron. Behave yourself as you always do, and we'll catch you in a couple of weeks after the international break. Nice one, fella.
Cheers, Mark. Thank you.